Hey everybody, Rev here. Surprise feed drop. Happy Gen Con. Yeah, I'll put this out on the Friday of Gen Con for those of you who can't be with us. So we are making some new content on the Patreon, and not all of it RPG, which is a little change. You know, the Patreon, we polled them and said, what kind of content would you like to see us make? The response was kind of like, hey, make whatever you want. We'll enjoy it. So we're putting that to the test. So this is the first episode, and I can't believe it, but we are actually already 7 episodes deep into this. But this show is called Fuel for Thought, and I have never seen the Fast and the Furious movies. And so Tass and Jessie, who both love these movies, they give me a little bit of detail on the movie, any production information, the cast, stuff like that, as the intro, and then we break away, we watch the movie, and then we come back and respond to it. And we have been having a lot of fun recording these, so if you like The Fast and the Furious, you can get the rest of the episodes on our Patreon. That is patreon.com/thecritshow. But for now, enjoy the first episode of Fuel for Thought. Well, hey everybody, welcome to Fuel for Thought. This is normally maybe I won't do the intro for this because I'm kind of along for the ride here. But for this first episode, that was that pun holds.
How dare you?
So in a conversation a couple of years ago, it came up that I had never seen any of the Fast and the Furious movies.
A shame.
Yeah. So that's what this is going to be. I have no concept for any of them. The show itself might shift a little bit in format as we go through. But for this first one, we're just going to introduce ourselves. I'm Rev. You know my voice.
Hi, I'm Tass. You might know mine too.
I'm Jessie Sky. You might know mine. I don't know.
It's possible.
It's possible.
There's
Anything's possible.
There's some old school
if
that
you just believe.
that watched the old end of days
Exactly.
Twitch streams and a few other things.
But if they don't know my voice, I'm a longtime Crit Crew member. Longtime member, first-time caller.
Yeah.
If you've been to any of the live shows or the meetups, Jesse and Kim were part of the team who were putting those together, as well as a number of Twitch streams.
Yeah.
And this spawned from a conversation with Jesse a long time ago because we both listened to Kevin Smith's podcast, and he was talking about that he had never seen them, and they were going over the idea of like, oh, we should do a watch along, and I was like, that would be kind of wild. And Jesse was like, do you know the latest stuff they're doing in those movies? I was like, I don't. Don't tell me. So, as I said, I have no concept of this. I am going to have Tass read the synopsis for the first one.
So we're gonna read this straight off of IMDb, and I'm gonna read this verbatim, but just to hit you with the full thing. This first movie, 2001,
Okay.
The Fast and the Furious.
Oh, there are how many movies?
There are technically 11 at the moment if you count the spin-off movie.
Okay.
And there are some shorts as well that I think that we're going to need to delve into, but we can talk about that.
So this is like a movie every 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but we're just talking about the first one.
Sure, yeah, just the first one.
Just a little street racing movie.
No plan for anything in the future other than this first movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, The Fast and the Furious, directed by Robert Cohen. Writers Ken Lee, Gary Scott Thompson, and Eric Bergquist, with the lead stars listed as Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, and Michelle Rodriguez. Here is the synopsis. Los Angeles police officer Brian O'Connor must decide where his loyalty really lies when he becomes enamored with the street racing world he has been sent undercover to end it.
Well,
Yes. I didn't add any words. I didn't change a thing. That is verbatim.
You fixed no syntax. Okay. All right. Well, that seems pretty straightforward.
It is.
He's an undercover cop. He has to go investigate this street racing, and he falls in love with it.
Yeah.
Charming little movie. I'm excited to dive in with you. These are some that I had seen a little. I'd seen them kind of as they come out,
Yeah.
but as Jessie and I got closer, we really started watching them a lot more because I didn't realize the love she had for street racing.
Listen, it's not a love for street racing. It's a love for family. The street racing is just the cherry on top.
Yes, indeed.
I assume that will make sense later.
It will. It will.
Okay.
It can't not.
So, yeah, we're going to pause this, set these microphones down. You might notice that the sound quality is a little different. We're actually recording in Tass and Jessie's house because, well, why wouldn't we just watch this movie and then, because we don't want to have any break between finishing the movie and then reacting to it.
Yeah, no.
I didn't want to like, oh, we're going to watch the movie, then we got to go to the studio. And so, yeah, in the future, we may try to set it up where like we tell people when we're watching it so you can watch along. But let us know what you want to see in this. I have a couple ideas for random things we could do internally, but for now, we're just going to watch the movie and then talk about it at the end and maybe have you read the synopsis for the next one.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All
I
right.
can't wait to watch you watch this.
All right, so we just finished the first one.
How do you feel?
Good. How do we want to do this? Like we had this idea, we got together, we didn't come up with a format. How do we want to do that? How do we want to talk about this?
Well, I mean, I think we should at least start with your overall impressions.
Sure.
And then we can kind of talk about like those sorts of things. I also have written down, I didn't want to like look at a wiki or anything. I wanted to just go by what we were watching in the moment.
Uh-huh.
And I also have written down like a breakdown, not of every singular scene, but like all the big kind of major beats.
Perfect.
And I also have got some ideas for like not segments exactly, but like things to track.
I did have another thought. I'm going to rank them in order of like my favorite.
Oh, nice.
I think that this rating will like, obviously it will adjust. So right now this is number 1 because it's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so yeah, my initial reaction is that if that had just been the whole movie, like if there was not any knowledge that there's going to be more movies, I'd be like, great. Like this lives in the world of like Gone in 60 Seconds and things like that. I'm surprised that in the synopsis they tell you he's an undercover cop because it really doesn't foreshadow that
Right.
until the reveal. And so I'm surprised that in the synopsis of the movie they tell you that because it seems like that should be kind of a... Do you remember both seeing this? Did you know when that reveal happened that he was a cop? Or is that synopsis like kind of a little more modern than the one that came with the movie originally?
So, to be honest with you, I cannot tell you the first time I saw this film. Like, it raised me. So I feel like it's always just been knowledge to me that he was a cop.
I feel like in the marketing that was like not a surprise.
Yeah, I came to them later than when they were coming out, and I knew it. I knew it going in. I don't know how, whether that was just from talking to others or it being, part of trailers and things. But yeah, I knew it.
That was the only thing I was like, I'm surprised they told us that because it's a while in before they reveal that, oh yeah, by the way, this guy's an undercover cop.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny that they keep him handcuffed the entire car ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they don't take the cuffs off of him until they pull up to the secret headquarters, and it's like, you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I was tracking a few things on this, and we can go through and talk about all these, but
Yeah.
and your thoughts and just things that you guys noticed as well, especially, Jessie on a billionth time watch through, Rev on a first time watch through. I'd love the perspectives here. One thing that we joke about because we know what's coming, and it's literally a meme at this point, is the whole family thing. Mm-hmm. And we see this a little bit in this movie of the dinner that they're having together and, things like that where, these people are very, very close. But family is only mentioned one time.
By the cop.
By the cop, yeah. I have at the top of my list here, Family Tracker, first movie. So only once there. I also have what I'm calling the nonsense tracker.
Yeah. Excellent.
For this movie, it's just great. This first one, it's like, oh yeah, there's a few like just action movie nonsense things.
Yeah.
So I scribbled down some of these as well that we can talk about as we kind of go through the plot here.
Okay. So yeah, let's go through the plot just a little bit, because the first thing that I have to acknowledge is that the 18-inch VHS televisions being stolen were the real money load.
Yeah.
I had one of those televisions, I think, in my dorm room in college, and so to see those like as this is what they're getting away with was wild. Truckloads.
Enough to fuel an entire racing operation.
Yeah.
So for anyone that somehow hasn't seen these movies as well, listening to this movie starts with a heist with these 3 cars chasing down a semi, and their method is not to just like get in front of it and slow down, nothing like that. No, they keep pace. The semi keeps going.
I have written down, I have to assume that what the truckers are transporting is also stolen, because they refuse to slow down, to stop, to do anything to deter the people robbing them.
Yeah.
Swerve, slow down, speed up.
And this method is wonderful. They get in front. One of the cars gets in front of the semi. They have one of those like grappling hook gun things that like they shoot at the windshield on the passenger side, rip out the windshield, then shoot another hook into the seat, and then rappel themselves from the car onto the semi, who still isn't slowing down.
Yeah, who's keeping pace to keep the wire taut.
Yeah, well, he's got to. He's concerned about these robbers.
I will say both times when the person starts to climb across the wire in this movie, like you see the person driving the truck kind of look to see what's happening and not acknowledge that someone is climbing into my truck cabin on a wire.
Yep. We also see another bit of nonsense. I have this on here twice, but this is the first moment of car going under semi.
Yeah.
Which...
It's my favorite.
I know. Isn't it satisfying in a way?
So satisfying. Like the intrusive thoughts when I'm driving tell me to do that every time, but I drive a little bit of a too tall of a car.
Right. And that brings up kind of a fun fact I have for y'all about that there are almost no semis that is possible for. Most of them are a much lower gate, and you can't drive under them.
Oh.
Even in a very low car, it's very difficult. So these were either specialty semis for some reason. There are some semis that are high enough that some cars could go under them, but they're usually hauling something specific. But just hauling like electronics and stuff, they would never use that. Yeah.
Well, and because we have to give credit. Clark W. Griswold did it first. So I assume it's the same semi that was hauling whatever was being hauled in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, it's just the same one.
It's the same driver, too.
Yep.
Where are we at next in the plot?
Well, we move immediately on from this heist scene of these mysterious figures to our plucky...
To Tuna No Crust, as I will refer to him from now on.
I also have a note about him ordering no crust. I don't understand how a man who, first off, orders a tuna sandwich and then orders
on a hot summer day.
On a hot summer day, on a beach.
From a little delicatessen attached to a mechanic's bay.
Right. Like, yes, he does have beautiful blue eyes. He's got the great wavy hair. Mm-hmm. He's giving California bad boy. And nothing says bad boy more.
Yeah.
Then I can't have the quest on my sandwich.
Yeah, we first start with him practicing his driving skills and being frustrated about it. And then we immediately jump to his visit to the Toretto's little market shop, where he is flirting with Mia Toretto, that we come to find is the sister of Dom Toretto, who's sort of the big bad racer, Vin Diesel. And
he's the capital F of the family.
He is the capital F. That is absolutely true. With also a little visit from his crew and Vince, who's a bit of a foil to Brian through the movie, and gets into a fist fight because Brian was flirting with Mia, who he clearly likes her.
You know what my toxic trait is?
What's that?
I think I used to be the Vince of my friend group.
The Vince?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, I feel like when Vince is very upset about, you don't know this guy, you've known me forever. I used to be very territorial like that with my friends. I didn't like it when they would invite new people over.
When they would make new friends.
Yeah. I think I've gotten better about it. And I didn't even have to get my arm sliced up in a horrible heist accident.
To learn.
Yeah.
I do want to jump ahead to the race, the first race.
Oh, yes.
Because we see Brian get his butt kicked, and then he leaves, and then he shows up that night to race with everybody.
Good old illegal street racing.
Yeah. And I love that, like, when he opens up his high-tech NOS system, I feel like what is displayed there is the exact same image I have when I start to 3D print something. Like, that's my home screen. I'm almost positive for my 3D printer.
The, like,
God.
digital, like,
Yeah.
futuristic-looking Excel spreadsheet thing.
Yep.
Interesting.
That's so good. Yeah, just the old tech through this whole movie is delightful.
Did this movie come out in 3D?
I don't think this one did yet.
Okay, I didn't think so because I remember one of them like, this is 3D, but that fisheye lens made me wonder.
Which also, though, that sort of shaky cam kind of mix of like, the action, the movement, the camera panning is this sort of heightened super speed while the people are kind of not in super speed or vice versa. And that was something sort of new at the time and something that put them on the map as far as visual effects. And this, and along with the second movie doing as well as they did, spawned a whole bunch of terrible movies trying to do the same thing, like Torque. Do you guys remember Torque?
Oh, yeah.
With the bikes, which also featured Matt Scholes, who played Vince in this movie.
Oh, okay.
And Jamie Presley and Adam Scott and like all sorts of people, and just these movies just couldn't cut it the same way. They were just doing cookie cutter stuff with worse CG. So that, just a little fun fact there, that's one of those things that you don't really think about now with as far as effects have gone, but that was like a newer style in 2001 and was implemented in a way that, just didn't suck.
And that how it, trails along the veins
through
of the car.
Engine,
Yeah.
So the race gets busted.
Yeah, sure does.
And it looks like a concert is letting out as all of the street racers leave. I don't know how any of them got away because there were so many cars.
Yeah.
But a couple action sequences later, and we see that Dom is rescued from the cops by Brian. And he tells Brian that he knows about his past because you can find out anything about anyone on the internet except for the fact that they're a cop.
Yeah, apparently. And not even the internet, Rev.
The web.
The web.
Yeah.
You can find anything on the web.
On the web. Except for the fact that you're a cop. And I guess we'll have to see if the story that Dom pulled up about him was real or planted.
Yeah, we don't really
I don't
know from this.
That's interesting.
Because the name he has that he's pulling from is no, it's fake name.
Oh.
He gives him originally the Spillner or something or other.
He says his name is Brian Spillner, and Dom says that sounds like a serial killer name.
Yes. His real name is still Brian.
It's still Brian. It's Brian O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor. I feel better now because I thought he was just using his full real name as an undercover cop.
Do you want me to send you into a real spiral? Did the street race get busted because Brian was there, or would the street race have been busted anyway?
Oh, I assumed that he set it up to get busted so that he could save Dom.
That's always my assumption too, based upon as Dom is exiting dressed in just like a very plain jacket.
Yeah.
And they stop him and they're like, Dom Toretto.
Dom Toretto.
And it's like, yeah, this guy who could be anybody. Like, so, I mean, it feels very...
And that happens a lot throughout this movie. They know who he is and that he's doing illegal things, but they think if they get out of line of sight, they're okay. He's got a building with his name on it. Like, they know where to go to find him.
I would chalk that up. I didn't write that down because that's kind of a higher sort of idea of nonsense, but definitely would fall under nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
That you have to be caught in the act.
Yeah.
Because if we see you doing it and then catch you later, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because these cops have object permanence like a toddler.
Unless you're Johnny Tran.
Oh, that's true. Which, that's what happens immediately. We get Brian saving Dom, getting him out of there, getting some respect, for being the one to save him when his crew left him behind. But then immediately we discover Johnny Tran, who pulls him aside and says, "You're in my territory. You don't get to do that. This is our territory. You got your territory." And then they just destroy Brian's car.
They do a fake exit.
Yeah, they sure
do. They do a false exit. They're like, okay, bye. Never mind.
And then come back.
Can I just give a special shout out to Lance Tran's Frosted Tips?
Oh, yeah.
The confidence with which the Frosted Tips are being rocked. makes them even more intimidating.
There's a little bit of Scrappy-Doo energy from him.
Yes.
Tass, can I give you something to look up for next time?
Oh, absolutely.
I want to know if we can find out how much money they made in product placement.
Oh, my God.
Because
the Coke and Snapple, right?
Well, that and like all of the, obviously the car related stuff, like the NOS and like all of those things. But yeah, the Coke and the Snapple for sure.
And the stolen goods, Panasonic, everything.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know if there was an influx in street racing after these movies.
So if I remember this correctly, so we have, we now get the reveal that the Brian's a cop.
Yes. Yeah. They fake pull him over the next day, bring him in to report.
So my understanding from the meeting that because he's not just an undercover cop, he's also working with the FBI. The fear, like the reason they're going through all of this trouble is because they're afraid that truck drivers are going to start arming themselves.
Correct.
Which I don't know if any of you grew up with truck drivers in your lives.
Yes.
We're living in a world where truck drivers don't defend themselves, apparently. And so this is the fear that they're going to start doing it. So we have to crack down on this.
My assumption was always like, oh, they must be in like a state where they can't carry, So maybe they're just going to start breaking the law and carrying anyway.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead to larger problems of having like guns in and out of the state.
Okay. So what we're talking about, this is like a trickle-down effect of street violence that's going to happen if truck drivers start arming themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would it be such a big fish for the FBI?
That was my exact question.
We get some more exposition-y scenes. We get Brian bonding with the group a little more, going to their little lunch cookout thing.
Those are my favorite.
It's really nice. I mean, it shows the family.
Exactly. Like that is what, if I could just sum up Fast and Furious in one scene for you.
It's barbecues.
It's barbecues.
Yeah.
It's barbecues and his family. It's that feeling you get with family.
We jump ahead a little to Brian back at his cover job. Part of his job is working at a car shop, where they sell parts and things, NOS, all this. And Hector, one of the other racer / organizers of the street racing, comes in and just happens to be ordering parts for 3 vehicles that match the description of what was used for the heists.
Yeah.
And so this sends Brian off. He's like, okay, great, I have something to look for. And he starts digging through some of the garages for proof, but he doesn't find the cars that he's looking for. But what he does find is Vince and Dom having spotted him breaking in, and they think he's a cop.
Yeah, because Brian already doesn't want it to be Dom who's doing it.
Yeah.
Like he's already trying to find a way. It's got to be someone else. It can't be Dom. He wouldn't go back to prison.
Right. Like he's falling in love with Mia a little bit, but he's falling in love with Dom.
Sure.
Exactly. Like they even try and throw Mia under the bus and be like, you're falling for the sister. And he's just like, no. I think he really looks up to Dom. I think he really respects him. Dom is like that cool kid at school that you just want to be his friend. Like you're like, if I can get in this guy's clique, like I'm in. And so, yes, do I want them to kiss during the whole movie? Absolutely. But also there is a sort of like, I don't know, kind of like adoption brotherly love type of thing.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mia says it really well in a date that they have a little later that, Dom is like this gravity that pulls people in. And of course, smooth as a golden retriever energy boyfriend, he's like, no, it's you that pulled
You're
me
right.
in. It's you. But she's right. Dom does have this sort of collection of people that surround his nonsense. And Brian is totally falling for that.
Yeah. Like, do we think that Brian, we know that he is planted to get into Dominic's crew, but like the idea of using the tuna sandwich as the in, like, do we think that he meant to fall in love with Mia, or do we think that he was just going to exploit her to get to Dom?
That's a great question. We come into this and he's been showing up at the shop for a couple of weeks every day already. I feel like the shop that he's working at is the point of contact for like all of these people. And in his just going and probably having very small dealings with a little bit of everybody, he was like, oh, she's cute. I want to hang there. I think it was more innocent, but also beneficial.
Well, and it's the only place where, of all of the groups that he's going to try to investigate for having been doing these robberies, it's the only one where they have a place he could go and just hang out.
Yeah.
Like there's not a Johnny Tran on the corner where he can go and have a burger. He's got to go to Toretto's.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And maybe this is a spoiler for the future, does Dom and Letty...
Mm-hmm.
Is Letty pregnant? If not, why did they have the mashup with the cops raiding the house and them having sex at the same time? Because it was this really strange infiltration mashup.
It was.
Infiltration?
It's so true. I have that listed here. I have that written down as something different, but it's funnier that way.
No, I like keep calling it infiltration.
It starts out with their, crossing back and forth between the arrests, and they're just fixing cars at Toretto's. But then it very quickly goes to, lots of groping and...
Yeah, like as soon as it turns into her peeling his shirt off, it cuts to like 36 soldiers swarming in a front door. And listen, I didn't do a ton of film school.
Do you want the answer to that question?
No, I guess I need to wait and find out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
That is fair.
Yeah.
So what led to that arrest, by the way, is Brian had been pinched by Dom and Vince.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're a cop, you're a cop, you're a cop. And he's like, no, I'm looking at everyone else is going to be racing in, and that this is capital letters, proper noun, what they went with for the movie. A big racing event that they decided to call Race Wars.
Yeah.
That's his excuses. No, all these guys are going to take part in the race wars, and I'm just trying to see what their kits are so that we're ready. And Dom's like, I don't know about you, but I'm in, you son of a bitch. Let's go look at these other.
Let's go.
I love that he's like, I'm not a cop. I'm just a cheat.
I'm just a cheat.
And then Dom's like, that's disgusting and despicable. Let's go do it. And then they go do it together to Johnny Tran. The same thing that Dom is upset about.
Yeah, to the guy that just shot up their car with machine guns and exploded it.
And they find Panasonics there.
They find Panasonic stuff. They find lots of good details that this could be, it could be Johnny Tran doing this. They see him kind of torture a guy and all of this stuff. So Brian reports all of this. Johnny Tran gets arrested, he and his crew.
I mean, imagine the relief that Brian must have felt being like, oh, it's Johnny.
Yeah.
It's not my boy Dom.
Yeah.
I've got Johnny in the bag.
I also have one more nonsense.
Okay.
There is a moment when they're looking around Johnny's garage, and then they get the call that, they're coming back, they're almost here, and that's when they scatter to hide. The garage door is opening. They're spilling into the garage, and Brian's like, oh no, and running across the middle of the goddamn garage.
Yeah, he is in the headlights.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite, quick little scenes, because I'm always like, how do they not see him? They're ducking their heads down.
Oh.
Their head, because I watch.
This is why we have the expert.
Right? This is why you guys have me here.
Yeah.
As they are coming into the garage, the drivers are ducking their heads down. So when they come in and Brian comes right around the corner...
Because they're on their bikes.
They're on their bikes.
Little crotch
Are you
rockets.
saying to me that when a driver of a motorcycle tips their head down, they also keep their eyes locked down instead of looking where they're driving?
I didn't say that they were...
Smart henchmen.
Exactly.
Well, after this, Dom does open up to Brian a little bit about his past.
Yeah, and we find out here, don't like this Dom guy, don't trust him, because he beat this other guy almost to death. And then we learn that it's because this guy was responsible for the death of his father.
Yeah.
And he just got out of control. He started hitting the guy and couldn't stop himself. And now he carries that around with him. He feels bad for what he has done.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a classic case of, you can't judge a book by its cover.
I don't know how far ahead this is. What happens next structurally?
So from him opening up, immediately after that is the date. Brian and Mia officially go out on a date, get a little more exposition about their past, because Mia is just perfect for that. She takes him on a manic little drive where she shows her badass driving skills as well.
Is it badass to bust an unnecessary UE along 4 lanes of traffic?
Yes, it is.
Good to know.
Yes, it is. Then we get the montage, the
Oh, yes. Yeah.
insertion montage or whatever you said.
Insertion montage.
And then immediately after that, we find out that all of the Panasonic stuff was purchased legally. And all of the things that they had on Johnny Tran were pretty much superficial, and they were out immediately.
Just a coincidence. Johnny Tran happened to just have purchased those. My understanding is Christmas gifts for his henchmen.
Yes, gotta be it.
I don't know. I felt for Johnny. I did.
Little bit in that moment. In that moment.
I mean, in that moment. Yeah.
Later,
I don't.
For what they did to him in that, they did him dirty. But
then later, the smile on his face under his motorcycle helmet later, in a moment we'll get to, is wild.
Which, hey, we're in the last stretch here, kids, because we jump up pretty quickly to Dom and Brian testing out the new build. He brought him a car since his car got shot up.
Yeah.
He lost the race originally, that first race, so he was supposed to give over his pink slip for the car, but it's destroyed. So Dom's like, you got to get me a new car. So he brings in the shell of a car, and over the movie, they've been rebuilding this thing into a 10-second car, and now it's completed. Yeah. So they take it out for a little test drive.
And this is the scene where we learn that Dom Toretto eats shrimp tails.
Yes.
I love that we immediately just both stood up.
Such a visceral reaction. So when you watch this scene...
I've never noticed that before.
Everybody, if you watch this movie again, they're having a conversation across the table. They're eating shrimp. Dom dips a shrimp, takes a bite of it. They cut to Brian. They cut back to Dom, and Dom pops the last of what's in his hand into his mouth. The last we saw, that was just a shrimp tail in his hand.
Yeah. And it was an instant before.
Yeah. So either Dominic Toretto eats shrimp tails, or that's a very bad... someone in editing really messed up.
I don't know. I feel like Dominic Toretto is tough enough to eat shrimp tails. That seems...
Is that a tough thing?
I mean, I don't know. Popeye eats spinach.
That's a food people eat.
This is more like in the cartoons, when they have the little drumstick and they eat all the meat off of the drumstick and then they throw it away. But Dom Toretto would just put the whole thing in his mouth and chew and not pull the bone out.
Or if he just ate the whole peanut without shelling it.
Like Dumbo?
Yeah, like Dumbo. Or like a squirrel.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I do want to point out, because we've seen a couple of times in this movie, and I'm interested to see if this carries through. Dom, out of everybody in this movie, seems the most uncomfortable in a car. He is so unhappy when he is a passenger or driving compared to everybody else.
He's tense.
He is the most flappable. He is looking over his shoulder. He's freaking out. And I'm interested to see if that starts to peter out as the movies go on.
Yeah.
But he hates driving. I hate to break it to you all.
Which is funny because he gives a whole speech about how that's the only time he's free.
He's alive. Because the cool version of him isn't him alive. It's the neurotic elbows to his shoulders.
The quarter mile at a time speech is so iconic.
It's iconic.
It is iconic in the sense of what it stands for. But immediately after that, he's just anyway, I'm going to go try and outrun a train.
Yeah.
We completely forget about what he's saying in the sense of what it stands for.
Yeah.
It immediately makes it actual. You know what I mean? Instead of this metaphorical quarter of a mile.
Oh, sure.
Now we're actually going an actual quarter of a mile.
An actual quarter mile.
That's true. It almost feels like they wrote this speech and they felt so good about it. And then they're like, I don't know what scenes to put up against this on either side.
We got to have an action beat on the other side of it, and I don't know what happens.
Well, this is the moment, too, in this talk where Brian has to really dig in here. He has to find information. The Johnny Tran thing didn't pan out. He's suspecting that it is Dom now, so he tries his hand at weaseling his way into whatever the illegal aspect of the racing is. He tries to get Dom to admit to what they're doing and get him in on it, that he feels like he's built the trust up enough, to which Dom says, I'll tell you what, you're officially invited to Race Wars, and we'll see how you do there, and then we'll talk. So we jump to the race wars, where it's just a big meeting out in the desert with a whole bunch of people doing one-on-one races. It seems like there's hinting that there will be more, but we don't really get to see most of that. Because in the middle of the night that night, I'm jumping ahead. I don't want to jump ahead.
You can't forget about poor Jessie.
Yeah, exactly. We see Letty kick some ass, but then the mechanic, Jesse, who helped rebuild Brian's car, he puts up his own car that was very special to him, knowing he's definitely going to win, but then is put up against Johnny Tran.
And isn't it like they say it's his dad's car who's in prison?
Yeah.
And they're like, your dad's going to kill you if he gets out of prison and you've lost this car.
Yeah. Okay. And he loses. He loses the race to Johnny Tran, and then Jesse just keeps going.
He just drives away.
He just runs away.
He's like, you know what? Next quarter mile. Next one. Next one. And I'm just going to keep adding them up till I'm out of sight.
So that starts a fight because Johnny Tran comes over to Dom like, tell your boy to give my stuff back. And then they get into a fight because Johnny Tran calls Dom a narc, and that's why he got arrested, and Dom loses his mind there.
I love it when Dom loses his mind at that part. Like when he's like, I'm not a narc. I'm like, yeah, you tell him you're not a narc. You might be a lot of things, but you're not a narc.
But you're not a narc.
The respect.
Then we get to the last of kind of two big action sequences here. The culmination of the secret that Brian's carrying, because in the middle of the night, Dom and crew go off to do another heist. It is, in fact, officially seen as them. Yeah.
They've got hidden cars.
Hidden off somewhere. And Brian notices them going and tries to get Mia to like admit it as well. And he comes clean. He says, I'm a cop and they're in danger. And these semi-drivers are arming themselves, and your brother's in trouble.
Maybe not this time, but soon. I believe is what he says. Like, maybe they'll make it back this time, but maybe not next time. So you got to help me stop them now.
But soon and for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so they tear off. They chase them down in this heist.
Yeah, and they chase after them so long that it's daylight again.
It is.
Yeah. I wonder where they drive to, because I also wonder just how they calculate time in this, because at the beginning of the movie, after Brian picks up Dom and they ditch the car, he says we have to walk 20 miles back to the house. Mm-hmm. Flash cut, they're drinking Coronas with the fam, having a little party. How long did it take them to walk that 20 miles, right? So how long did they have to drive from Race Wars to wherever? It's daylight now. When it's dark and he calls the GPS tracker at the police, he says they're 40 miles out.
40 miles away.
Yeah.
So they're driving out very far to rob this semi.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine it must be early morning hours, like sunrise coming up. But what a way to start your day.
Yeah.
And they've been up all night. Like, they've got to be tired. It's no wonder that this heist goes sideways. Really, really bad. Because, they try the same tactics, the weird grappling gun situation, but the semi-driver keeps just shooting the shit out of everybody with a shotgun.
This next semi-driver, just as unflapped as the previous one, maintains his speed, but he does make a difference here. He starts to swerve a bit.
He does swerve slightly.
And that causes some problems with the heist.
It does. It's like they're learning.
Yeah.
Some of them are not learning, though, especially our team members here that we're viewing, because we get to see yet another swerve under the semi, inexplicably for no reason.
Yeah.
Why did you do this?
There is a reason.
Okay.
The reason is Dom is up on the side of the car. He is attempting to help get Vince off the truck. Vince's arm is tangled up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When the shotgun blast that hits Vince in the side or the leg or something, one of those hits Dom's tire, and he starts to swerve.
Yeah.
And so Letty says, get out of the way. I'm coming around to get him. And so she cuts underneath the semi with the intent of taking his place.
And just drives off the road.
Yes.
Oh, it was just a bad maneuver.
I see. The moment I'm thinking of where she says like, "Oh, I'm going to come up there," is when she goes to distract the driver and then is surprised that he shoots at her.
Yes, she does do that.
She's like, "What the fuck? He's got a gun."
She literally says, "You can't get a better shot than this." And then he shoots, and she's just like, "Son of a bitch!"
I can't believe he did that.
So we have poor Vince dangling from a semi, his arm all wrapped up in this grappling wire. He's getting shot at. The other people are going off the road.
Can we really say he's dangling from the wire? Isn't he really just sitting on the step up into the truck this whole time?
I mean, he looks like he's dangling there.
Does he? Every time it cut back to him, it looked like he's got one cheek and one foot on the step up. I'm like, why doesn't he just use that leverage and untangle his arm? Because dramatic effect is
dramatic effect.
He was shot in the side, though, with some scatter shot.
That's true.
So he might not have much core strength going on, or his leg might be messed up enough that he can't put the weight on it.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Because the truck drivers are learning. This one was, he was hitting his brakes, speeding up a little bit, kind of making him pendulum swing a little, so we couldn't really get a good bearing.
Only firing his gun through the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not through the 6 inches next to it where he knows this guy's ducking around.
No, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
So after a couple of cars are off the road, folks are sent back to collect Letty and so on. Dom gets his tire blown out. It seems like Vince is trapped here and or going to die. But then Brian arrives and Mia, and they zoom up to save the day and more or less do. Mia takes over driving like a badass. Brian jumps onto the semi, frees Vince, and gets him back into the car where they dart off into the desert, and the rest of the team shows up, and we hear it all together now as Brian calls in the authorities saying, we've got a guy he's bleeding out. You got to get here now. I'm a cop, blah, blah, blah.
Officer Brian O'Connor. We have a man down. And that look of betrayal.
Oh, the look.
My heart breaks.
And we watch too, as they're having this scene, we see the semi driver having not changed speeds at all.
No.
Just he's still going.
Just is like, oh, I won.
Well, I win.
I won Twisted Metal. I'm going to go collect my prize.
And then they go and they make a movie about that truck driver. It's Unhinged with Russell Crowe. No, I'm joking.
Yep. I don't think we ever see the truck driver's face, so it could be. I like this theory. So they airlift Vince away. There's a tense moment. There's the look back and forth of Brian at Dom and the, puppy dog eyes, and, Dom and crew leave.
Yeah. And Mia.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Mia, are you going to go with them or stay with me? And she chooses to go with them. But then Brian also gets left behind by the chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't ride with the family. He doesn't ride with the chopper. He's just standing in the middle of a field awkwardly.
Yeah.
But, isn't that really just symbolic of Brian this whole time?
Yeah.
He doesn't belong anywhere. This movie is so deep.
You really, I feel like you're reaching here.
No.
So we then get to Brian pulling up to Dom's house. Dom is up in arms. He's going to head back out, and he has got his dad's car out and a shotgun, and it's because he's got to go find Jessie.
Yeah.
And as he convinces him not to do it, well, he doesn't really convince him. Jessie shows up.
Yeah, right as Brian pulls up to tell Dom, don't do this.
Yeah.
I'll send the authorities out to get him. Jessie just happens to telepathically hear the ping and pull up and save them the trouble.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then everybody's spider sense goes off because we all hear the familiar sound of motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
The vim vim of crotch rockets.
Yep. And there's a murder.
There is.
Spoiler alert, Jessie gets shot. I assume he dies. I guess we don't know.
He's dead.
Okay. Dom stays with him, trying to comfort him. Brian tears off after them. The camera follows the two murderers who are doing my favorite thing, post-murder wheelies. We come up behind them as Brian is chasing them, and they're both just popping wheelies. Oh, we did a great job. We committed a murder. And they're just celebrating.
Dom then also makes chase a little after the fact, but Brian does a pretty good job of chasing them down, keeping them off kilter. Dom does a dope side swipe car move to knock one off his bike and roll down a hill.
Which reminded me of another movie. I can't think of what it was. Maybe it was Death Race. But there's another movie where someone is doing something and a car tears in real fast and does a slide skid and just knocks the person far the fuck away with the back end of the car.
So the chase continues with Brian chasing down Johnny, Dom finishing off, I'm forgetting the other guy's name.
Lance.
And Brian shoots him down because, it's a gunfight. He just committed a murder. This is, he's an authority figure trying to catch this murderer.
Yeah.
And shoots him off his bike. But then he sees Dom. He sees Dom in the distance.
So I have a question here. What the fuck is this last race all about?
Family.
He sees Dom at the top of the hill, and he's like, I'm going to go after him. And so he goes after him. They pull up next to each other, and like they acknowledge one another, and they're like, we're going to race to the train. Why? Because it seems like he's already decided he's going to let Dom go. It's like there's no like, hey, if I make it past the train, you got to let me go. Or is that the implied, like, what am I feel like I'm missing something in this moment.
I think it's one of two things. That there is either like that feeling of camaraderie of what they've been through, that he didn't come up to Dom in the manner of a chase. And like you said, it was like he sees him coming, but it's not.
Let's do this cool thing together.
It's kind of like this. We've just been through this shit. Everything is awful. Friends died. What the hell is going on? You know our secret. What are we going to do? Or it's like a mutual respect kind of act that they're finishing out this story with.
Okay.
Or the writers thought it would be dope. I'm 50-50.
I will, you know what? I'll buy that first one.
Okay.
I would buy that a little bit. I also think that they say multiple times that like Dom won't go back to prison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dom says, I'll die before I go back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think that in Dom's mind, he thought that he wasn't going to make that train and that it was going to be this kind of sacrificial thing. You know, he's driving around with the dad's Charger, and the dad went out in that Charger going at a fast speed. I think that he thought, this is how I'm going to go.
That's what I was wondering too, but like, and maybe that's just a miscommunication between the two of them and their freshly budding relationship, but like, there's no intent from Paul Walker that he's going to take Dom in. And why did he even pursue him if he's pursuing you? And it's for like it seemed like Dom was like, this is how I'm going to go out. And Paul Walker's like, but I'm not coming to take you in. But there's a misfire there.
Yeah.
Brian, to what Tass was saying, was like trying to prove to Dom, like, okay, we've been through this thing together. Like, I'm all in now. If you go, I go. And I think that once they make it over the other side of the train, and then Dom is completely kablooied by a completely separate vehicle that is not a train at all.
Yeah.
But, you know, he survives that. And I think that in that moment, they're both like, okay, you get a pass. Like,
yeah, because what's really strange to me, just structurally, like as a movie, as an action movie, as this kind of budding bromance, whatever.
call it what it is.
Like the moment of Brian giving Dom the keys to his car so Dom can drive away would be the exact same thing as if Brian's standing after he has killed the trans and looking up and seeing Dom on the hill and Dom drives away. Like those are the exact same moments. And so I felt like one was undercut by the other. Like remove one of them and I would be like, okay, that's great. I understand exactly what's going on. But that's what lost me. I was like we see him letting Dom go and then we see him letting Dom go again.
I think though, if you pull back from the motivation of it, it's a really dope scene.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we're counting the amount of times that it needs to make sense, then add that to the nonsense.
I can
cracker.
only react to the movie that I saw.
You're right. You're right. And how do you react, sir? What are your feelings on it? Like, I know that, you know, if you're going to track them all, this obviously ranks number one because we've only seen number one. But is it positive? Is it meh? Is it negative?
It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I am interested to see, you know, we had a conversation off mic before this started of what, just by accident, what do I know about this movie series? And the only things that I knew were Paul Walker is a cop. The third movie apparently is like out of order chronologically. And I feel like there was one other thing I said. Oh, that Paul Walker's brother plays Paul Walker later on because, as we all know, Paul Walker passed during these movies. And they didn't like want to write his character out in a death. So those were the only three things I know going into this. With that said, I'm excited to see, because everyone I know who loves these movies loves the way they kind of build on each other. So like right now, I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, I'll probably watch this one again. But my outlook on it could be different once I get to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and we won't talk about specifics there, but it is wild. I haven't watched this first one in a decent amount of time. Jesse and I went through and rewatched most of them a year or two ago, but like it's not fresh in my mind. But just knowing all the things we know, it's wild how simple this movie is. And I love it. Like, I love that it's some cars going fast. A couple of them tip over. There's some stolen goods. One person, well, I mean, technically a couple of people get shot.
Yeah.
That's the most extreme things that happen. That is wild. Absolutely wild.
It's pretty tame.
Yeah.
Really, by today's standards.
Oh, yeah. But still, besides some salty language that is pretty cringy for today's climate.
Yeah. It was not a film that aged well.
Yeah, a few things did not age well, but the structure of it did, I think.
And the core message of family is a timeless message.
It is.
And I don't think we're there yet.
No, we're not.
Message.
No, they've got this is just the seed planting.
Yeah, this is just the cop. Like, you're selling me real hard on family, but it's not here yet.
It's not here yet. And maybe I should say I am getting a little too far in the head in the family situation.
You gotta live your life a quarter mile at a time.
See, you get it. You get it. You're getting it.
You're doing it, Peter.
You're playing with us, Peter. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. See, you get it. Like, cut, break. We don't need to even watch the rest of them. You've got it.
I think with that, first off, thank you for joining us for this Fuel for Thought. Let us know in the Discord. There'll be a channel there for this now. Let us know how is this too fucking long? Is it, oh, you know what? We enjoyed listening into it for this long. Or is it need to be 10 minutes? Do you want us to set up a time where we're watching it so that you know and you can watch along? Are there things you'd like to see discussed or whatever? Let us know your thoughts on the show.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. So until next time, I wish I had a clever sign-off for this.
Well, we will let the idea of coming up with a good sign-off drive us.
Fuel for Thought is a Crit Show Studios production. This episode edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Perley.